programs. Welcome to Hydaelyn's Heroes, the Final Fantasy XIV show where whether you're a warrior of light or a warrior of darkness, all are welcome on this star we call home. It is part 3 of our expose into the MSQ for Dawntrail. And this chunk is pretty meaty in amount of stuff that actually happens. I'm excited for this part, but like this one zone is going to take up like the entire show here today. So let's get onto it right away. Introducing what did I call you?
Cinco de Papi?
Cinco de Papi. He is the Kona to my Wuklamat. Take that however you want. It is Piers Harvey. How you doing, my good sir?
Hey, I'd rather be Koana anyway, thank you. I'm doing all right. I'm doing good on this Sunday. This nice, cool Sunday over here in Arizona. Actually starting to get a little bit chilly, which is surprising. I don't remember what it's like to be cold, so I'm still trying to kind of come to terms with that. But no, other than the weather, which actually it's been nice. It's been nice. I've been doing good. Just another week, another good week of some Final Fantasy and work in Final Fantasy. And
you've been doing more than that. You've been doing more than that. You got some metaphor going on in there, don't you? Yeah.
Silent Hill 2 still. So yeah.
Oh, you're not done with that yet?
No, I've been taking it in chunks. It's scary, dude. It takes it out of you after you get to a part, and you're like, man, I don't know. Take a little break.
Maybe I need to get that and play that for Halloween or something, huh?
Dude, it's so scary. Legitimately.
So I've never actually played Silent Hill, so I'll have to try into that. We got Coalfire here in chat. Woot, time for the best 14 podcasts on the interwebs. Sure, we'll take that. I'll take it. I don't believe it, but I'll take it.
Yeah, you take what you can get. All right, I appreciate that, Coalfire. It means a lot.
And yeah, it's been weather's been getting nice and chilly around here. There's been some nights where it's been like mid 40s, and I love it because I just all the blankets cool, and then my head is cool because it's like yeah, warm but cool.
Yeah,
that's just how I am. All right, should we get into the MSQ? Should we get into this big expose? Okay. We left off with the big old train, and we're busting into Vanguard. Good stuff, right? Good cutscene.
Yeah. Jumped off the train, let it run into Vanguard, blew a big old hole in the gate, and so we get to go storm it. So
storm the castle. It was an okay dungeon. I wouldn't call it one of the best ones, but I mean it had some good bosses, some decent mechanics. Black boss being first, I kind of liked that. It's gonna drive around the outside, and depending on where the blade was, you have the inside or outside. So that was a unique take on in and out. What did you think of the first boss? I just call him Bike Boss. I don't even know his name.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's something
serial number probably.
Yeah, it took me a while to understand the whole inside outside thing. It was really like using too much of my brain tax, I guess. Maybe I was just learning some new stuff on Red Mage. I think I just got Grand Impact at the time, so I was trying to use that properly, and I was just getting railed by this boss. So I finally got it, oops. But I did finally get it, and I think it's fun. Yeah, it's a good first boss, for a dungeon.
Moving along, Trash is Trash. I'm not going to talk about Trash. Protector being the second boss. This is where I think the dungeon differentiates from some of the other dungeons. I'm dubbing this chaos mechanics, and it's something that we see a lot more of in Dawntrail than I think we have in the past.
Yeah.
Just spamming AoEs and dodging and...
Yeah. I actually enjoy it quite a bit. I can understand some people probably don't like it as much. Probably some Black Mage players out there, or even Pictomancer players, are probably not really happy with having to do a lot of movement for those AoE spam mechanics, but I actually like it. I think it's a fun little dance trying to find the safe spot. It's kind of like spot the safe spot mechanic, which is really fun. And I kind of like the boss for its walls that it puts up, and you have to kind of dodge around the walls while you're also dodging all the mechanics. It's actually kind of fun. And I think you get a paralysis if you go through the wall or something. So it's debilitating, but it's not the end of the world. So honestly, I think the second boss of this is probably one of my favorite second bosses that we've gotten in Dawntrail. I can't think of any other that really blow me away. I think this is probably the one that does it for me. So
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about the dubbing of chaos mechanics, as I put it?
It makes sense. It reminds me of, I think it's the boss from Som All, the dragon. Tiomon. I think it's Tiomon. It's like Tiamat, but it's with an N at the end.
Yeah.
But I think it uses a move called, I think it's even called like Chaos Eye or something, and it like drops a little AoE on the ground, and then it like causes a bunch of AoEs to spawn all around it. So it's kind of like exactly what's happening in this boss, the second boss of Vanguard. So yeah, I think Chaos mechanic actually does kind of make some weird sense.
I don't know. There are some chaos mechanics I know you don't like. A certain bee lady that we talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call that so much as a chaos mechanic as just like I think it. I mean, we could talk about the savages later, but it's just like a failure of telegraphing mechanics. Like at least in this one in Vanguard, like you see everything very clearly, so it makes it easier to dodge. In the B boss, you only see a very short little arrow on the outside of the arena, and you have to assume that it's going to go straight through, and it's sometimes hard to see that through the boss, through other characters. It just makes it a little bit more challenging. So I guess it is a chaos mechanic, but it's one of the lesser ones in my understanding. But yeah,
lesser developed maybe.
Yes, sure.
Just kind of, we're only going to put half of the arrow. I still believe there's got to be some way of doing that mechanic that is less YOLO than how everyone does it, but
people
no one's found it.
Swear by Mario Kart, dude. People absolutely swear by Mario Kart, and I've heard some weird things about it. I've heard it's very tank dependent, that basically the tank has to dictate the pace at which you go around the arena and dodge the line AoEs, because if you have a tank who hesitates, then you'll get people who just get absolutely creamed. So
all right.
Yeah. Anyway, we're getting off topic here. Very off topic. But yeah.
Last boss, Xander, is kind of a two-phase boss. Him proper, and then him tapping into the, well, for better term, feral soul. He turns into a big salamander, and the fight starts over. I kind of like this boss. I like the whole second phase and the slither mechanic, and that was kind of a cool take.
Yeah, I think the slither mechanic is actually kind of boring, because once you know where the safe spot is every time, you just know how to do it. The mechanic I do like from that fight, though, is when he starts doing the frontal smash plus
smashes,
plus the tail swipe, and it'll either be like fore swipe or back swipe, so you either have to be behind him or in front of him when he does it. I think that's actually kind of cool. Again, another mechanic that took me a while to understand, because I wasn't reading what the move was called, and so I was just getting slapped around. But once you get it, I think it's a fun little dance you can do at that specific phase of the fight. So I like it a lot too. I always have a fun time when I get to do Vanguard in like a leveling roulette or something. So
I'm gonna say the gear here is actually pretty cool. It is kind of is it a rehash of the PvP gear?
I don't think so. I actually think it is new stuff specifically.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. The weapons look pretty dope looking too. They got a fantasy online kind of vibe to them.
They're very Phantasy Star. Yeah, they're very futuristic, sleek, kind of like that kind of vibe. The laser, not quite laser, would be cool, but like kind of like glowing edged, kind of like neon kind of thing. So definitely a unique set. I would probably go in there and farm up some gear if you're into that kind of vibe. So
all right, after that we finally get into Heritage Found, the 5th zone of the expansion. I feel like we spend more time in this zone than in any other zone at all in the rest of the expansion.
I think I agree with you. I don't.
I guess part of that is Solution 9, which is adjacent to it.
Yeah,
it's kind of lumped in because it's halfway through the zone. We go to Solution 9. There's a bunch of stuff that happens there, and then we're back out. So I kind of lump it all together.
Yeah, it's fair.
So this zone, I mean, I put in the show notes here. Well, aesthetically cool. She's got a lightning dome and everything's just crackling and everything. It still has a wasteland, desolate look to it. So while it's pretty cool looking, some shit went down here. and we don't know what. We just got here, but we're like, what's going on? Like, this stuff just happened.
Yeah. Clearly some sort of time stuff is going on here, a lot like how it worked in the first, when we did Shadowbringers, where, we lost Thancred and all the Scions and all that stuff for only a few days, and for them it was like years. So same thing's going on here, where it's only been a few days for us, but in this time dilated dome area, many years have passed. So settlements that should be around still are like absolutely dilapidated and broken down and stuff. So it's weird time stuff, of course.
And our first hint that dilapidated, rundown, we look for the train. Like, the train just came through just days ago, so it should just be around here somewhere. And it and the train station are basically just absolutely destroyed. There's nothing there. It looks so worn, like it's been ages. So yeah, that's the first hint that something that's not right. And I put here time shenanigans, because we're not quite sure. It could be that whatever Zoraal Ja was up to, he just destroyed this whole area before coming out. But how is that possible, considering as soon as the bubble dropped, him and his fleet were on their way to Thule? So
yeah,
some weird stuff. We also noticed that one of the broken sentries is here. Why it's broken, we don't know, but it's here. So we're like, okay, so we're in the right spot. This is where Zoraal Ja, he has hold over the area. Any thoughts on this initial area?
Nothing real. I just remember like the first Aetheryte area, right? And just people not really knowing what's going on. I know Arenville is taking this kind of hard because this is his hometown, or not. That first Aetheryte is not exactly his hometown. We will get to there, but like he knows the area very well. This is like the region that he specifically is from. And so like, he's kind of a little perturbed seeing it in the state that it's in. And of course, I'm sure he's very worried about his mother and his people, because, obviously something's gone on here. So,
at this point, it kind of splits up a little bit. Arenville takes the main group to where his home is, and we see Graha kind of venture off. He's kind of interested in the lightning rods that he notices in the distance. So we join up with him, and he's like, yeah, we got lightning here. And they kind of seem to be absorbing it, harnessing it, but we don't know what for. I mean, it seems to be very plentiful considering the dome. So why do they need to harness it? We find that out later. And then we join up with Arenville back at his home, and it's not good. His home's not in a good space there, Piers.
No. That's kind of the theme of Heritage Found. It's very broken down. We will end up finding some people who are living here, some people who are eking some sort of existence out here in this wasteland. But Arenville is still like very concerned about what's going on here, because his hometown is not doing super hot, as you said. So
and it's here in his town that we meet Sphene, the queen of Alexandria. She makes her first appearance. She explains that she is the queen and Zoraal Ja is the king. They kind of have a dual thing going on, just like Kona and Woklamot, voice of reason, voice of resolve. And she tells us that her and the king are kind of at odds right now, that they're not vibing quite well right now.
Correct. Yeah, there are some disagreements going on between them. First impression seems that Sphene is very peaceful. She's very anti-conflict, and of course, obviously with what Zoraal Ja has been doing just to Lialal, and he seems to have taken definitely more of a war stance, and so that kind of perturbs Sphene a little bit, kind of brings them at odds with each other.
And this is also where we get the lore drop that this is mostly Sphene's world. The whole mechanical enterprise, the whole building and everything is actually from Sphene's world, and it has somehow merged into ours. So there's the dome is not just it's a pocket of her world that has just been dropped into ours, and we're like, what the hell's going on? Why is this here? At this point, though, she takes us on a little tour of the outskirts where the people are actually eking out that living that you were talking about.
Yep. So, I'm trying again. I have to access memories deeply lost in my brain about what happens because I skipped most of this on my alt. But yeah, I remember going around and like talking to the farmers and stuff out there. We get a little bit of information about how they are able to generate power. It seems that these electrical rods, electricity seems to be a very big theme to these coming areas that we're going to experience. And so I think we get a little bit of a taster to exactly what technology they're using for this. I don't know if we get taught about electrope here, but obviously
I think it's in Solution 9.
Okay. So, but yes, there's definitely some technologically advanced stuff going on here. Seems that stuff that we've never experienced before, and I think maybe even more technologically advanced than the Alligans in a lot of ways. And well, we'll get there, but so.
Yeah, so they have a nice little farming situation going on. People on the outside, everyone seems to be in good spirits, and this is also where you find like some of the people here are actual, Tuliolans. They've been living here, and we even come across Namika, Wookalamot's housemaid or house servant, wet nurse, however you want to describe it. But she's like really old now. I mean, she was elderly, but she was taking a trip back home, and she was retired. But now she's like really old to the point where she's on her deathbed now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can't remember. I know that we find her, and she literally, of course, the trope is always that we find her right as they're about to die. 30 years has passed, but of course we walk right up to the day that she's about to pass.
Yeah.
Typical storytelling trope, but
yeah, this is where we find out that the time compression is not just it's a real thing. It's been 3 or 4 days for us because we had to build that whole train and things and all that fun shenanigans on the outside, but it's been 30 years for everyone on the inside of the bubble. So craziness. Like
yeah, I can't even imagine that, dude. If you think about it too much, it kind of makes your brain hurt. That they were like on this train and they just kind of like rode into this area and then literally got stuck for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
When we're we just kind of roll up a couple days later and we're like, yo, what happened?
Like, why are you so young?
Yeah, exactly. It's wild.
You also got to think about is like most of the people that may have been around in that area maybe are already dead, especially if they were older. And who knows all the chaos that Zeral Jah inflicted on these people. So yeah, and I think that's part of what Aaronvel is feeling like where's my mom? Like I can't find her. Like I don't know what's going on. Like it's been 30 years. Is she still alive? Like I can't imagine like what's going through his head.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially because he just found the Golden City and wants to tell his mom, I did it. We did it. Yay.
Yeah, and then this happens, of course,
So speaking of, we start actually like looking for Aaronvel's mother. Before we do that, Namika, she's actually on her deathbed. She dies.
Yes, we have to tell it. Yeah, she does. Yep.
She does actually die. In that moment, like everyone's devices on their head. Everyone in the area has a device on their head. And at that moment it glows, flickers, something happens, and everyone's memory of Namika is just purged. And Wookalamot's like, hey, what's going on with Namika? Like, and no one knows what the hell she's talking about. She's like, she was just here. You just helped her. I don't know. No one here by that name. New phone, who dis? Yeah,
pretty much. So whatever this device is on these people's heads is just completely erasing the identity of whoever dies, which is interesting. Yeah. We won't really learn about that until a little bit later about what's really going on. But Yeah, definitely some breadcrumbs of like what exactly is going on in this like technological dystopia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
But now we need to look for Aaronville's mother, Kakiwa. Is that how you pronounce it? Kakiwa? I think that's it.
I mean, that's how it's spelled. So we'll go with it. Kakiwa.
Right.
Sure.
Kakiwa. So we're looking for Kakiwa, but no one seems to know, except for Sphene, and she kind of points us on the path of a resistance band in a place called Earth and Sky. So we head there, and we find his mom of a sort, right? What's going on there?
Yeah, we find some like robot, this weird like little robot with a television for a face, and it is basically Kakiwa, but she's saying that she's controlling this creature from somewhere else. So like, trust me, like I'm around, but like, follow this little robot dude and he'll take you to our friends and then we'll meet up later is basically what the deal is. So,
And honestly, if you're the leader of a resistance band, like I might do the same plan if I had that technology. Like I'm in a remote place, but I can be there in person, so that, hey, if the people I'm resisting come and attack us, I'm still safe, right? Yeah. I mean, that sounds logical. So
it makes sense.
I bought it.
Send a little drone. Yeah.
Yeah. I put in the notes, tin can, because it's a later reference.
Out of the way, tin can. Yes.
Yeah. Out of the way, tin can. Yeah. Here's some good, raid call outs here. His mom's helping the tin can. So yes, now we get into some cool metaphysics, and I love the metaphysics in Final Fantasy 14. Here's where she sends us out and kind of explains how souls work. And their souls are their own power source. So that energy ball that we were seeing that being harvested from Tuliola's people were actually souls / memories, and that was being harvested and pulled out of people. And they use these souls as a revive mechanic, but also as an energy source. And then they also showed us via someone that went hunting that it's not just humans that we use these souls on, it's animals as well, feral souls, that could be used as like a boost in power. Like you've gone feral.
Yeah. I mean, not only it seems to be that if you use a feral soul like too much, or you access it too much, you actually do take the form of whatever creature that your soul that you're using. The final boss of Vanguard comes to mind. He used obviously some sort of serpent or snake or lamia soul, and he became like half serpent himself. I think if I remember right, the person that shows us this doesn't become like a monster, but she does definitely like become more feral. I think she like gets on all fours and starts like jumping around and killing, because like we're basically shown a demonstration of this. I think it's like a elven woman who is supposed to be kind of a protector of the wilds. Like she kind of patrols around, make sure that the city stays safe, and she's got this feral soul that she can use when the going gets tough. And
Gridania Ranger, they're just making sure that calling wild animals.
So yeah, she basically shows us not only does she get like slapped and just killed, like she literally just dies, and then she gets revived by the soul, but then she goes feral, and then she like completely obliterates these monsters, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's crazy. What's going on here? So
like the group, what's funny about that whole thing was the group was like, oh my god, she just died.
She's dead.
She just straight up got just rancor smashed. Okay, like just ground to the ground, and just boo, re-raise. Hey, I'm back. But it was a feral soul, so she kicked the monster's butt. So we get that as a metaphysics, and this is how Sphene's entire society is living off of. Everyone's got souls, so there's no apprehension or fear about dying violently because you have a soul that will bring you back and heal your wounds.
Yeah,
seems a little messed up.
It's a little messed up.
Yeah.
I don't know if something like this was like in real life. I would love to see the politics behind that. But of course, this is a fantasy video game. You can't really soul in real life and then use it to extend your lifespan. So, but it seems to also be that, like, if I remember correctly, they also explain that, like, old age is still a thing. It won't save you from old age. It won't save you from like disease and stuff like that. But it will save you from like mortal wounds. Like if you get like severely injured, like it'll heal all your wounds and basically bring you back from the brink. So like, yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah. So that's why Namika died. She died of old age. So Soul is not going to make her less old. She's still going to be old and just die. So, we get back to the hideout. And this is where Wuklama's like, hey, the enemy of my friend is my enemy, or enemy of my enemy is my enemy. I don't know. The enemy of these people I just met is my enemy. So let's join up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So us and Oblivion.
They seem like decent people, so.
Yeah, they seem like decent people. So us and Oblivion join forces, and yes, we get to meet the whole crew. We got Geode, who's kind of the leader of the of this band on the outside, and apparently there's more in Solution 9 in the residential area inside Everkeep. And then we also get to meet the twins Nostalgia and Wayakeke. Kewe. Yeah. And then I put a note here. Nostalgia is rated number 3 cutest Dawntrail character.
Number 3, of course.
Yes. Number 3.
I guess will we get to number 2 and 1?
We'll get to number 1. We won't get to number 2.
Okay.
We'll get to that next week.
Well, what's number 2 then? Oh, next week? Okay. We'll wait for that.
Oblivion does explain that while Zorja has been king for nearly 30 years, he's never really cared about the people. It's always been about military action and preparing a military force. So they're not endeared to him. Everyone seems to be head over heels for Sphene, though. They love Sphene.
Because Sphene's definitely the face, right? She's the outgoing face, and Zoralja's definitely. I mean, we know at this point what his goal is. His goal is to conquer Tulialal. His goal is to become the Dawn Servant, quote unquote. And he wants to conquer all of the Aetheris, Hydaelyn, whatever you want to call the planet. He just doesn't want to stop at Tulialal. Like his goal is to conquer everything, and so these people are definitely 100% a means to an end for him. So when it seems to be that Sphene made the deal with Zoralja back in the Sky Deep Cenote, when that was the voice that Zoralja heard, and so the deal they made basically was like, well, we don't know the full extent of the deal, but basically, Sphene promised Zoralja power so that he could carry out his plans, and that's exactly what he's doing here for the past 30 years, is carrying out his plans. These people be damned. He doesn't care about them. They mean nothing to him. So,
and we'll see how true that is down the road here. So at this point, Oblivion asks us to meet them in Solution 9, the residential area. It's where they have their main base, and more folks dedicated to the cause, and kind of get us on the inside of Everkeep and work our way there. So, we're off to Solution 9. Where we cross over into a whole nother game, where we meet into Destiny's Lightfall expansion and head to Neptune, right?
It's very similar. Yeah, it's kind of wild how these two games are around the same time. These like hyper futuristic kind of areas that are even beyond like what we live in right now. Like it's definitely beyond modern age. It's very sleek. Everything's very clean,
and they love the neon. They love the neon.
They love neon. Yes, they love neon.
Pink, blues. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. So I like the vibe of it. It's a little weird to see it in a Final Fantasy game. I can't think of another Final Fantasy where it was this technologically advanced. I'm trying to think.
What
like
about
maybe
9?
Some Final Fantasy 13 stuff. 9 had Terra, but Terra was like not like this. It was like maybe Terra in its heyday looked like this, but when we go there in the game, it's already like run down and dead. That's the whole plot point to Final Fantasy 9. I don't want to no spoilers for a 20-year-old game or whatever, however old it is. But yeah,
maybe 8. I mean, it itself was set futuristically, so like
8 was like modern day. 8 was like super modern day.
Okay.
I guess S-Star is probably the closest thing. Actually, now that we talk about it, S-Star is very close.
Okay.
To Solution 9. So okay, yeah. There you go. You found the example.
There we go. But, and I haven't even really played 8, so there we go. I win. Music, just a banger track. Like I could just sit and listen to the music in Solution 9 and just on repeat, just sit in the zone, chill out. Not many zones where I might get tired of it in a year or two, but it's some good music in Solution 9, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. No, it is good. It's definitely got that futuristic vibe to it. So yeah, if you like that kind of thing, then go AFK and Solution 9 around the arcade Nexus. That's where all the people are hanging out. You know what I mean? So yeah, go chill.
And of course we have a new town zone. So what do we get with it? We get a tour.
Aetherites?
We get Aetherites and a tour. We always have to be given a tour of the new town area. So this time Spheen's going to give us the tour. She shows us around. I think the arcade is first. And this is where we find out that Pharaoh souls themselves, while they do give great power, along with the resurrection ability, they are restricted though right now. Solution 9 and Spheen and her people had a whole arena, and one of the things about the arena is that they would use Pharaoh souls to fight each other for sport and entertainment. Well, that has been shut down. Pharaoh souls are restricted to only those essential, like those hunters or rangers out in the wilderness, but also just the military. So they're keeping those powerful souls mostly for the military, which does not bode well.
No, it doesn't.
No, it does not. As we go around though, the food trial was a little weird. We had to try some food of Alexandrian cuisine. I don't know what you chose, but like it was just a weird experience, especially with everyone like hovering around and like, ooh, do they like it? Ooh, what do they think of it? And I'm like, it's just food, guys. It's just
Well, they're taking pride. I think they're taking pride in the fact that they've been able to like perfect the culinary experience, right? So like they want to know if you like it, because then it like validates their, like we work so hard to make this, like I think I chose this food cube or something. It looked like, I don't know, like a bar or something. Yeah. So it's probably like, something you get like an MRE or something, some like little granola bar or something. I don't know. And I don't know, those little grape hexagons look kind of good though. I bet they taste good. The weird little grape thing.
I think I chose the one that was like a steak.
Okay, yeah.
And it was, and I think Wokla is the same thing. But again, it was just like manufactured. So in my brain, I was thinking Alexandrian food is people. Soylent Green is people.
Soylent Green. Yeah, we're in the Soylent Green, dude. We're in like Xenogears or something like that. Yeah.
I didn't see no cows or Brahma or anything like that out there. Okay. That's true. There were some axe beaks. There were some animals out there. Maybe. I don't know. So we also, this is where we get our understanding of what Electrope is and how it's powered their whole city, and how they've taken this material that they found on their world, and used it for the betterment of all their people, and how it takes not just harnessing, electricity or lightning aether, but it also can transform that into other usable aether. So they can take that and make fire with it, or power a fan or produce water or something. Awesome material and tool applications. Yeah.
It's basically what the entire civilization is built on. Like, This is like akin to caveman finding fire, right? For this civilization, finding Electrope was like the big deal. So everything is made of this stuff. So like the entirety of Solution 9, like I'm pretty sure like even those drones that we fought, like everything is just made of electro. You know what I mean? So
or powered by it, yeah.
Or powered by it in some way. So yes.
I mean, and this is I think where also where we get the connection is like, well, this is where Electrope is. The whole place is Electrope. This is the same material we found back at the Golden City entrance. So now we know that these places are inextricably linked. Like
they're definitely linked.
Absolutely linked. As we keep moving on though with the tour, we get to a residential district. Fiend wants to check in on this mother and son. Son has Levin sickness, very ill. And apparently this is a sickness where, you know, if you're born under the dome, you're basically allergic to lightning. So the fact that he's trapped in a lightning dome, in an area full of lightning aspected aether, like he's just constantly sick. And we see that Sphene really does care for her people.
Yes. Yeah, this kid is clearly dying, and like, you know, like I said before, the soul thing will not save this child from death. Like if this child dies, like they can't just use another soul to bring him back. Like he'll be dead for real. So like it's very sad. And you know, she's like, oh, we'll work as hard as we can to find a cure. You know what I mean? And like it just goes to show that like this queen of the people, of like probably a lot of people, does care like about each individual of subject of hers. So you know, we get to see that little side of her. Another interesting thing that I actually forgot about that we can discuss is that during the food trial, I believe it's Wuklamont asks if Sphene wants to eat anything as well, offers for her to eat something, and she turns it down. And what we'll find out about her later, that it's a little foreshadowing there about why she's not willing to eat anything. But just keep that in mind, I guess. Yeah. Is that
like why didn't you want to share a meal with us? Like, yes. Come on. You showed us this. Weird might be going on. Yeah, there's something a little weird. I'm like, no. Maybe it was just the way that she put it instead of, oh, I already ate. If she had said that, I mean, it wouldn't have been a big deal. So, you know, the way she put it is like, oh, no, I'm good, thanks. So it was just a little weird. That pretty much wraps up the tour. You know, she shows us around. We hit all the major aetherites, all good stuff. After the tour is done, though, we notice a curious little blue Mumblejaw child. Like, who could that be? Who could that be, Piers? Like, I knew right away. I knew right away.
He seems to be a blue child of the race of Mumblejaw that aren't supposed to be blue. I can't remember. I know there's like the Hibigos, and then there's the other. I can't remember which one's which, but yeah, very similar to, shockingly, hold your shock here, guys. Zerul Jah. It's almost like he's a little mini Zerul Jah. Crazy. Yeah. I know.
Oh my goodness.
Weird.
Are they cloners?
They could be. Maybe it could be a clone. Who knows?
Well, I guess that is. They do eggs, so I guess they had to have. He had to take time away from his busy, making an army to inseminate or fertilize the eggs. That's the word I'm looking for. Fertilize the eggs. So I guess he wanted to make children. Sure.
I have no idea. As we'll find out, yes, this is Zerul Jah's child. But like, I want to know who the mother is here. Do we even meet another Mumblejaw at all?
Not that I remember at all. Not that I remember.
I don't remember either. So like, who is this man's mother? Who's this man's wife or significant other that he's having
or
kids
egg
with?
Layer. Yeah, just
yes.
One night egg laying. It's just kind of how you roll. Roll in, like, oh, you got eggs there? I'll fertilize them, and he fertilizes and goes. That's how he gets his rocks off. I don't know. Teach their own. Sure. That is the lore. You roll in. One night stand as you come in, see some eggs, you fertilize them, you leave.
Gotcha. Yep.
I don't know how Mama Joe do. I don't know their romance. But okay, so we like follow the kid, but like he's also like scared when we see him, but he's like leading us. So it's weird. Like, no. Oh, they saw me, run away. but he runs away in a way that like he wants us to follow him in a certain way, and then it was the weirdest, like, come follow me, join me.
I can't remember if like anyone from Oblivion was like, oh hey, keep out for like one of our agents or something in Solution 9 and he'll like guide you to where we are. None of that happened?
No, it was just like, hey, go check out the entertainment area after we're done with our tour, and that's when we noticed him. We're like, oh,
that's a little weird.
I know. And we're like, we hadn't seen any other Mamo Ja, but just see this blue skinned child, and we're like, hey, we know someone else that's blue skinned and of the same race of Mamo Ja.
Sure, so let's chase down the child.
Yeah, let's chase down the child.
Warrior Light stuff, guys. Yep, chasing children.
Good times. The kid ends up us taking to a bar, and what we find out about this bar is that it is the headquarters for Oblivion. So the kid was under orders, I guess, maybe to lead us here. I don't know. It's the weirdest way to do it, in my opinion. Sometimes OCP, your writing and the way that you guys organize these things is a little bit suspect.
Yeah, whatever. Fantasy trope stuff again.
Sure.
Whatever.
At this point, we get access to the back room, which is the true hideout of Oblivion, and their facilities inside Everkeep. And we get some more metaphysics, talk and stuff here. First one being, and this is probably the most important one, is the group called Preservation from Alexandria's side of things. I guess it's a group dedicated to learning and implementing interdimensional fusion. Freaking crazy.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, I mean, like that's how that orb appeared, right? I mean, something somehow merged together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we know. I think it's the 9th. I think it's been confirmed that this is the 9th reflection. I don't know for sure, but I think I read that somewhere. Whatever. Somehow the source in the 9th, or the source in whatever this shard is, merged together some way to create that, the orb outside, the lightning orb. So yeah, Preservation must be responsible for this. Dimensional fusion is a thing. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
And Preservation apparently is also the group that is responsible for. Well, I guess that's something we learn till later. So we'll hold that there. But also here, we also one of Oblivion's members, Shale, notices the earring that Cryos had since the beginning of the expansion. The little earring that she got from package from her grandpa.
Yeah, the green mage earring. Yeah,
the green mage earring. Totally took you off. You're like, no, Picto, it's gonna be green mage.
Legitimately, I want to know people. I would like to know the people who legitimately, with their whole chest, thought that it was going to be Pictomancer. Like they were like, oh yeah, that's definitely a job that could be in this video game. Really?
Absolutely.
Not even for a minute did you think like green mage or nope. Geomancer or anything.
No. With the Turtles t-shirt from FanFest, like Viper was like, okay, that could fit, but for me, and we talked about it at FanFest, we talked about this, and you, me, and Ultima, got the 4 artists, Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo, like, yeah, they're all artists. Pictomancer.
I guess, man, I don't know, whatever. I also thought that it was going to be Corsair and not Viper, but whatever, it's cool. Corsair would have been sick though. Dual wielding a sword and a gun, that would have been so badass. Just saying. Anyway, that's off topic.
And maybe we'll get that someday. Green mage. So yeah, we hand over this. Apparently the earring is a memory stick.
USB drive or something.
Yeah, big USB drive memory stick. Access key something, and yeah, I don't know where else to go with that. They didn't go into any more details, right?
I don't. What did we find on it? I can't remember. I think I can't, dude. It's been too long.
Yeah, I don't know what was found on it. They just knew it was a memory stick or access card of some sort. So
yes,
yeah. So yeah, we at this point we get to actually meet the Bolivian members, Geralt and Jeanalt, and Shale, the number one cutest Dawntrail character.
So you think Shale? Okay, yeah, that tracks. Shale's pretty cute.
I've never found any of the Elven attractive at all. So Shale was like, wow, she is gorgeous. She's gorgeous.
They need bigger heads and then shorter necks.
Yeah, and maybe that's what it was. There was a little bit shorter neck, and so the proportions felt better. Maybe that's what it was. Yeah,
could be.
But yeah, so Jeanotte's got to be, I guess, for lack of a better term, the 9th version of Geralt, right? Geralt.
Yeah, we need to get Geralt, Jeanalt, whatever the guy's name is from the first, and then we got to find Jeanalt. We got to find Void Sent 13th Geralt, and we need to get them together to at some point.
Yeah, we're gonna get them all together, all 4 of them, and it's gonna be a artifact quest.
Yes, I'm down for it, dude.
Him
that'll be more interesting than the fucking Manderville. Yeah, well, okay, bring Godbrand into it. That'd be cool, but it'll be anything's better than the last one. I like the story for it was interesting-ish, but
the story was fine. Doing all the exercises for 1 bead of sweat, which would then magically transform our weapon. Come on, that's just stupid.
Of course it is, but they decided to tie the whole thing to the Manderville storyline. It's serious.
It's a joke storyline, supposed to be comedy. Haha. You in turn make the artifact or relic weapon series a joke. Haha. Comedy.
Yeah.
Even to the point where the turn is just tombstones. Come on, this thing's just a joke.
Yeah.
Anyways, speaking of joke, Jeanalt, he's feeling a little run down, dude. So, what do you do when you feel a little run down?
I guess drink energy drink. I'm not an energy drink kind of guy, though. That's the thing.
You're not?
So, I'm not. I could probably use one right now, though, man. I'm feeling kind of lethargic today. It's probably just the weather. It's just been so blah around here in Arizona today. But,
you don't do anything when you first wake? Do you don't have a coffee or anything? Nothing?
In the mornings when I go to work, yes. Tomorrow I'll probably get a coffee. Wake up.
Okay, you got a coffee. There's your energy drink. There's your energy tonic.
Sure. Yeah, my caffeine.
Your little caffeine hit, Bam, bam, bam. All right, let's go. White Monsters, no sugar. But yeah, gets me going in the morning. So yeah, he needs just to fetch him some energy tonics, but apparently they're I don't know if they're just faux pas or it's just there's ingredients in it that aren't acceptable to the mainstream of Solution 9. It's a black market item, right?
I distinctly remember actually paying attention to this, doing it on Lenneth, and I think it's it's just too strong for the populace. It's not illegal, but it's not you can get it anywhere. You kind of have to get it from special vendors. You know what I mean? And
you got to know the secret handshake password.
Yeah. Exactly.
So why? I mean, that sounds pretty illegal to me. A little backroom prohibition.
Yeah, whatever. Who knows the politics of Solution 9? Okay, I don't know. They're weird.
Here's my thing about the energy tonics. Okay, I feel, and I feel like we were peer pressure into taking drugs, because we were told that we had to take a shot of this to make sure the side effects weren't bad. We're now into human testing, and apparently the light show our brain is illuminated. And we're on LSD. Clearly, that's what this energy drink is.
The NDA did say that we are trying a less potent version of the one that Geralt was going to get.
Oh my
Specifically, we were given the novice version of it. So yeah.
So, yeah. like, here's my good stuff, you know, and then you're gonna take this other bag over, and that's the hooked on.
Correct.
My addict's version. You're gonna take that to him.
Yes.
This like the fact that this got into a Final Fantasy game blows my mind.
It's pretty funny. I think the effect of the drink is cool. I think the rainbow effect is. I wanted it as an emote like yesterday, or like a firework, I guess, if they really wanted to make it a firework. But I think it'd be cooler as an emote. But energy drink, go crazy, like that'd be. Cool
I think
emote.
it needs to be a consumable item, a la firework, but like it just turns your whole screen. It doesn't show anybody anything else, but turns your whole screen psychedelic colors.
That could be cool.
Actually, EverQuest back in the day had something kind of like this. It had alcohol in the game, and when you took a egregious amount of alcohol, your actual point would weave back and forth, and the view would come in and out. So like you're going straight, you know, you're just hitting forward, but like you're like
That's cool. Yeah.
And if you keep drinking, you would build tolerance to it.
That's amazing.
So you drink everything and you only get woo, 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 woo.
Yeah.
And people were so proud of their alcohol tolerance in that game. I'm maxed out on alcohol tolerance. That doesn't get any effect. I'm like, okay. I don't think they ever used it for a mechanic, but they should have.
They should have. Yeah, I think that would have been cool for like a boss or something.
Yeah.
Boss gets you drunk and you gotta, dodge.
Yeah, I put here, feels good to enable an addict. Yeah, when we give Janalt his energy tonic, boom, he's back at it. He's like, yeah, I feel great. So, yeah, the addict got his fix and he's ready to get going. So, I mean, as long as it, I guess, got him up and productive, I guess, sure.
I mean, he's a good dude. I'd rather be addicted to energy drinks than alcohol. Like our actual poor guy, Geralt, like he is just straight up an alcoholic. Like,
it's true. Yeah, our boy's an alcoholic, so.
Yeah,
good times. This is also where Kakiwa confirms that the blue child is Zorolja's child, Guluja.
Gololja, yeah. So he took his grandfather's name, but just dropped the Ja because he's not a blessed child. So he's just Gololja.
Gololja, yeah.
I want to know who named him because it can't be Zorolja, right? There's no way.
Kakiwa did. I think Kakiwa did because like I put the note here, like Zorolja just abandoned, like I think he just fertilized the egg, and the only reason they truly know is because it's blue skin. Like there's only one way that happened.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So Kakiwa actually became like auntie, and I think she named him.
Gotcha.
And she knew of Gulujaja. So during the heritage, you are Guluja. Yeah, with Zorolja abandoning his child, he's really showing what kind of a big piece of shit he is as a being of civilization.
Yeah, he has lost a lot of his humanity at this point. Like, I don't even think he has any shred of decency left in him. As we'll see when we get to the trial, the next trial, like he's very willing to forego everything that kind of brought him to this point to seek power. So that includes his child, that includes his siblings, that includes his father. Like he's willing to do anything to attain this power and I guess lead his people to where he feels like they deserve. It's really interesting. Again,
it's all about conquering.
Yeah, but like there has to be a reason for it. Like I don't know. Again, I feel like Zorolja's motivations are not super duper well explained throughout the storyline of Dawntrail. I guess it just must be a huge inferiority complex that really brought him here.
Yeah,
like
I think that's absolutely it. Like when he lost out on being the Dawn Servant, like I think he just broke.
Yeah,
he just broke. It's like like I think his entire life he was preparing himself to be the Dawn Servant, to be the lead, to bring more prosperity through conquest. I mean, he led the military side of Thule. He was the head there. So the fact that he lost out on that spit in the face of everything that he believed in. So yeah, he just broke as a not a human being, but I mean like a person.
A person, yeah.
A person. Da-da-da. So this is where Wook Lamont and her sensitivity, lack of awareness, because sometimes she just has a big mouth and just speaks her mind. She wants to take in Gulu Jah because he's family, right? So wants to take him in, wants to be, you know, auntie, when this is all said and done, and take care of him. But in the same paragraph, you know, thought process, she says, oh yeah, but I need to kill your dad, basically. Yeah, I need to kill Gulu Jah because he's just gone too far, and caused too much harm. Unfortunately, did not understand that Gulu Jah was eavesdropping, and got very upset that she would just want to kill his dad, even though his dad has not been in his life whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a child. He doesn't really understand. So
yeah. Poor little guy. So he runs away. We kind of spread out, find out, oh no, he probably got outside. You know, apparently living in Solution 9 for your whole life. You know, all the, you know, ins and outs and tunnels and vents and stuff, right? To get out undetected. So
right. I would assume so. I mean, what else are you going to do if this small little area, you only got Solution 9 and then you've got Heritage Found, right? Those, I would know like every inch of it in 30 years. Well, I know he's not 30 years old, but like what fun stuff for a kid to do, I guess. Maybe go exploring the wastes, I suppose. I don't know. But that's what he likes to do, so.
All right, so at this point, we've got to track down Gulu Jah. So we head back out to Heritage. I mean, this is a good like halfway point. How are you feeling about the zone so far, with what's being presented, and are you getting a little bit more excited for as we near the end game for this expansion?
Yeah, I'm more intrigued in this half of Dawntrail than I was for the first half, for sure. You know, collecting the Pokemon badges or whatever in the first half is fun. It was cool. It was cool getting to know the people and getting to see the areas. But like, I was ready for some steaks. Sure. And I don't mean like the beefsteak kind, like the one you had during that quest. I mean like actual steaks, like STAKES. Okay, so like I was ready for those, right? Yeah. So we finally got some steaks because like Zorul Jaws wanted to do some stuff, and so we got to stop him. But, you know, of course, we got to go find his kid real fast because we have to, I guess. But
you can't just let family just run amok, right?
Exactly.
We got to let him know that we didn't mean. I mean, we are going to kill your dad, but like he deserves it. He really does. Like,
yeah, there's a reason.
Like,
a reason.
You don't deserve it. You're a cute little guy, but your dad is a big piece of poo. I will say that the second half of Heritage Found is a lot more interesting, just in what's even in that area of the zone. Like you get all the Alexandria ruins, you see all these lightning things going off in the distance, because like in the first half, like you got farmland and desolation and then just a huge wall. So the other half of the wall, other side of the wall, is just, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, there sure is. The ruins of Alexandria, I think, are the coolest part.
Yeah,
just kind of seeing what's going on.
Did you kind of hope that when you saw in the distance that like I don't know if it was an arena and just the lightning that was swirling around, that you would actually go there at some point or something of that nature?
Yeah, there was some intrigue there, but they didn't really cash out on. Maybe some cool fate or something happens there. I honestly don't.
I mean, like, I still go to those pits where the lightning erupts, and like I half expect to like be blown away and to, like half my life taken away. Like, why didn't something like that? Environmental dangers. Come on, like this would have been prime point to do that. Like, is there anything like that in 14? I can't think of. I don't think there's any. Like, you can't like step in lava and take damage, right? There's nothing.
I mean, you can, but it's like not in the overworld. You can step in lava in like Labyrinth of the Ancients and take damage. It's like nothing, but you can just like swim around in the lava there if you want.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's like dungeons like Dismal Darkhold where the crystals explode, right? So like the crystals will like explode every once in a while. So there's some environmental stuff, but it's very rare and it's like never in the open world.
It's all instanced.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, another missed opportunity, Square. Do better.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we track down the little guy, and then we get, what is this, our 15th, 16th sneaking mission of the expansion?
Yeah, this one's really annoying too. Like definitely one of the more annoying ones because there's monsters everywhere and they will aggro you as you chase around John. It's like super annoying.
Yeah, you have robot soldiers that are just patrolling the Alexandria areas. So yeah, it could be a little bit annoying. I maybe only had one or two fights, but still, like,
yeah,
I'm just trying to get through the sneaky mission. This is also where we meet Steiner, right?
Yep.
At the end, I mean,
for
Otis.
all intents and purposes.
Otis.
Yeah. It's just Steiner. I mean, it's very clear that Sphene is supposed to be Garnet in this. There's very clear Final Fantasy IX allusions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the city's called Alexandria, for God's sake.
Yeah.
So this is obviously supposed to be Garnet. So this is this person that we meet, this Robo Knight who has had his soul transplanted into this robot, is the Steiner stand-in, or Otis for sure. Otis is definitely a little bit more proper and fanatical, I would say, than Steiner is in Final Fantasy IX. Like, he is super duper, like, I am a knight for the kingdom of Alexandria. I have my honor and all that stuff. And like Steiner's kind of like that, but I think he kind of gets that way towards the end. Like, that's kind of his character development, right? Is him becoming more honorable and more nuanced. And
in 9 he was very by the book, and like as things went on, he's like, I need to protect Garnet, I need to protect the princess, but like he was so confused about why things were happening the way they were, and like totally befuddled, like when betrayals would happen, like why, like his honor just couldn't compute in his head why that would happen. I think Steiner became a much more interesting character near the end, but it took a while to get there.
It did.
Otis, though, I think is interesting right from the get-go. Like, he's a robot, so he's programmed the way he's programmed, but like just the way he interacts, and maybe because we're in 14 in modern day systems, just seems like a more believable character, ? Is that the best way to put it?
I suppose so. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of like Gululja's little friend, or big friend, I guess. He's the one who protects him from all the wandering rogue AI and stuff out there who are wandering the wastes of Heritage Found, like, so.
This is also where Otis gives us a big lore dump. Explains where Electrop is from their world. We're assuming the 9th. And it was found in an excavation, but it was a limited resource. So because of its applications, both in tools and making lives better for everyone in that world, wars start to break out because it's a limited resource. So you can only have so much of it. So an Electrop is then used not just for tools, but it's also used for war. And apparently its destructive powers are incredible.
Believable, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, this is very much the stand-in for like oil in the real world, right? Like a resource that people are willing to go to war for. You know what I mean? So
yeah. This is also where we find out that the king and queen were killed during one of the wars. The princess, as she was about to ascend the throne, struck down with an illness, and she died, unfortunately. And this is where the preservation group that was learning about interdimensional fusion and melding the two worlds together also came up with transference. Is that the word I would use? Would use transference?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so
like putting, for Otis, right? Like putting his soul, his being into this robot, right?
Yeah. I think he was gonna die, so he's like, I'll be a test subject. I'll, be the eternal knight for the queen or the princess. And so he was the initial, prototype for transferring one being's soul into another apparatus. So it was a success. So this is also where we found out that Sphene is not actually a princess. She is one of these. She had her soul and her memories transferred into artificial intelligence robot, if you will. And yeah, she's not actually a person anymore. She's what they call the Endless.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a debate that we can, or a discussion we can have when we get to the last zone, living memory. But it's a really interesting conversation to have about what constitutes a person. Like, who is a person? These Endless are the soul and memories of the people that they used to be. They're no longer living in the conventional sense, but who makes you who you are? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Is it your memories? Is it your soul? Like, you know, there's the religious side that would say your soul makes you who you are. You know, there's people who are saying your memories dictate who you are and your experiences. So, like, who's to say these people aren't actually real people anymore? You know what I mean? So it just kind of makes the rest of the story kind of a gray area when it comes to what happens. But yeah, Sphene is one of these people who are no longer human in the conventional sense. She's basically just the memory of who she was back when she was a princess put into this like AI body, basically. Yeah. So
yeah, her soul and her memories were transferred, but it's not actually her. Soul and memories serve as programming for the Endless. So yeah, that's the big difference is, I guess, for me, is like, because that just becomes part of programming. You're not growing anymore. You're not going beyond your constraints of your programming. So who you were is how you'll always be. You can't grow and become a better person or a worse person.
I suppose that's true. So, like, I guess it's hard to see the nuance there, because, like, we meet other Endless. I don't want to spoil too much, but we meet other Endless. You know, they're happy to see their significant others there. They want to. They have these dreams. They have these goals that they want to meet. You know what I mean? And, like, who's we to stop them from living that way? You know what I mean? It's just such a hard.
Yeah, it is. It is very hard. And maybe this is spoiling, but I think one thing we can agree on is, like, those people continuing on in that way shouldn't come at the expense of people that are living now, right?
Yeah,
and that's the key issue.
That's where it becomes an issue. Yeah, where it starts to be a direct threat to living people is when it becomes an issue. But yes.
All right, so after that big lore dump, which is kind of shocking, we get the Link Pure communications. Like, Zoral Ja is on the move. Like, he is on his way to Vanguard, which means our time is running out to stop him from another attack. We gotta intercept him. We gotta take him down, right?
Yeah.
I do love that it's nostalgia that meets us. She's so cute. Number 3 cutest.
Sure.
Come on,
I agree with you.
Who's your number 3? If you had to put it out right now.
Maybe Kakiwa. I'd have to think about it. Maybe Kakiwa's friend from Shaloni, one of the Vieira girls. I honestly can't remember.
The white-haired one in Shaloni?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My number one is a random Duskwhite NPC Elven from Living Memory. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The marriage one?
The marriage one, yes. We have to find her ring for the guy so that they can propose, and it's super cute, and she's super cute, and yeah.
And if I remember correctly, because we had this conversation, Sphene's your number 2, right?
Sphene's cute. Yeah, she's fine. I don't know. I'm kind of like a little lukewarm. Like, she's... Maybe if we see more of her in the future, which we might, because, who knows? But
yeah, who knows? All right. So Zoral Ja, he's waited enough. He's ready to punish Delalio some more. We do intercept him before he gets to Vanguard and gets outside the bubble. And Zoral Ja, there's a little bit of a fight between Wuklamut and Zoral Ja, and Zoral Ja starts to bait us and get Wuklamut a little angry. and lets us know that, you know, Sphene is the true architect of all that's gone on right now. And the reason for the attacks initially is to get the souls. And that's why, you know, those soldiers were harvesting. She needs the souls to empower her endless. And this is where we have that issue where, you know, the endless can exist. I have no problem with it existing as long as it's not at the expense of those that are living now.
Yeah, it seems that, like, I don't know exactly what the metaphysics. I suppose the end degrades or something over time, and so it needs like a constant infusion of like fresh soul for them to stay alive or to stay, you know, sentient or whatever you want to call it, because they're not technically alive. And so Sphene basically made this deal with Zoralja, like, hey, we'll give you all this power, all this technology. You know, we'll make you king so that you can have all of these forces. So you can go out and conquer the source, be my guest, but you have to bring back some souls for me so that I can keep my people alive, so that I can keep the memory of my people alive. And that's the deal. So Sphene is, while I think that she does, she might take some umbrage with how he's going about it. At the end of the day, like, she's complicit in this war effort that he's doing. Yeah. So.
And Zoralja shows that she's not even really a person in the strictest sense, or even like a being, because, you know, she's standing right there. He cuts her down, and what he cuts down actually is just one of the robots. It's just a hologram that she imposed on her. So she's just a program overlay. She's not actually even there, which I think maybe that's where her crown comes in. Like, that's just the projection.
Yes, I think. Yeah, I think what it's been kind of speculated is that her crown is Sphene's own personal. I forget what the machine is, but the thing it's on the side of the people's heads, right? That like have their member. I can't remember.
Restrictor or something. Yeah, the soul device.
Yes, I think like her crown is supposed to be that kind of thing for Sphene. Sure. Right. So maybe it's like the prototype or like the first one or something, but yeah, her crown has got to be important for the future, I think.
Regulator.
Even past regulator.
Thank you.
Regulate the stealing of his property, and we're damn good at it too. Oh wait, that's a song. But yes, so that's he cuts down one of the robots, and she's just a robot, so she can jump around from robot to robot like very easily, because she's like in control of the system. Basically, her and Zoralja have this like dual control of the entire system of this AI robo whatever is going on in Solution 9 and Heritage Found. And so she can just override the programming of any of these robots and just jump from person to person and just take them over and become them. So she's not a real person. She's basically just a program who's going around. So,
and I think that's part of what she needed Zoralja for. It's like, I think she's restricted by not only the AI constraints and what's going on, but like also to be inside the dome. Like, it had to be within her people's area. She can't like venture out to Thule and just attack herself. She needed that physical arm to go out there and do that bidding.
Yeah, that tracks.
So Wooklamot is basically had enough. They have a little bit of physical altercation. Wooklamot does smash up Zoralja's regulator at this point. So yay. We finally get to beat him. Like, he's going down. He's not coming back, right?
If only.
Yeah. Zoralja does get a little pissy, though. And it's like, oh, you're going to actually fight? All right. And he orders the attack on Tuliolo. Uh-oh. What happens now, Piers?
I guess Tuliolo's screwed.
It's absolutely screwed, right?
Yeah. Definitely not. Nothing cool is going to happen.
No. One of the best cutscenes, man.
It is one of the coolest cutscenes, yeah.
So they track over to Thule. Kona's there. The defenses that he's mustered up, and apparently he's formed a little bit of alliance. Why don't you tell me about it, Piers? Tell me about this alliance.
No, he's formed alliance with the people of Radzat Han. There seems to be something going on. So Vitra himself decides to come and deal with business because screw it. So we've got a member of the First Brood coming in. We all know that members of the First Brood are not to be screwed around with. Nidhogg, Svelger, whatever, Vitra, came and just decides to put down some business on these heritage found Solution 9 fools. So we get to see some pretty cool action there. Of course, Bakul Jah is there also protecting, because that's his thing now, is he's going to protect Tulial, and so that's cool. So yeah, definitely some cool coming together of some old friends and some new friends. I think even some Scions are there too, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I think the twins stayed behind for that, right? Or no?
Yeah.
No, they're with us. They came with us.
Did they?
At least okay. Alice A is. Yeah, Alice A came with us. I think Alphino stayed behind.
At some point, I know that
because Alphino brokered between Vitra and Kona.
That's right. I know
Estinian.
that
Estinian?
Estinian might be there.
Yeah, I can see him.
And then
messing fools up.
We get Y'shtola and we get Garaha come at some point too. I don't remember when, but I think they're there too, or something. I don't know. The Scions are very underutilized. Sorry, but whatever.
Yeah, good times. So yeah, they defend themselves, and yeah, the attack is thwarted because dragons are badass. Sorry, your ships hold no sway.
Vitra and little baby Azdaja is too, hanging out with Kona.
So cute, Azdaja.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like, if we keep this up for another 10 years, like I want to see her grow into like a little wyvern and whatnot. Like that needs to be a storyline. Really cool. That'd be dope.
I mean, it can happen, right? Because we got little baby, and then like he became Big Mount Midgard-Zormer, right? In Heaven's Word, and then he became like Big Boy Midgard Zormer for the Omega thing, and then we had to put him down, unfortunately. Rest in peace. But like,
he didn't get put down.
I'm pretty sure we killed him. I'm pretty sure he's dead.
No, he had to go to sleep, like an eternal, like maybe millennia long sleep.
Okay, he's in the rest.
Yeah,
the Odin sleep. Got it.
Yeah,
all right,
he's in the Odin sleep. He's just we won't be seeing him probably ever again, but I don't think he's dead. So
okay, all right. That's a lore tidbit I'm not sure about, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, off topic, but Yoshi P apparently said he's like got the next 3 expansion stories figured out. So
and you know what? Good, because what I don't want is like, oh yeah, we need to pivot in our story because we messed that up, 2 expansions ago. Like, if you got this planned out, that gives me hope. Yeah. Like, all right. So unfortunately, the attack fails. Zoraal gets the news that the attack failed, and it gets even more pissy, enthralls Otis, kidnaps his son, and is like, meet me up at the top of Everkeep or the kid dies, and let's settle this, at the top of the highest mountain peak. Like
correct.
Some fantasy tropes that just never die.
He's got to be dramatic, but I mean, something is also happening at the top of Everkeep at this point. Like, maybe some dimensional fusion is going to happen there. So maybe there's a reason that he's going up there. And yes, of course, the reason why Otis can be hacked is because, like I said, Zoraal also has like authority over the AI systems of, because he's king.
Yep.
And so all he's got to do is be like, okay, Otis, you work for me now. And Otis has no choice because he's a robot. So it's his programming. So.
Yep. And this is where, unfortunately, we get the attack on Solution 9. Zoraal has just gone completely batty, and he's attacking all the people of Solution 9 because he just wants all the souls. He wants all the souls, and he wants them all for military purpose. Be damned to the people. And then Svine's like, oh no, please help my people. Like, what have I done? This guy sucks.
Yes, of course. She's willing to wreak all this havoc on the source and kill all these people, but the moment she sees her people getting in danger, it's like, oh, she freaks out. So I don't know. It's hard to kind of have sympathy for Svine, but I mean,
you want to have sympathy for her. You want her to be good, but like, because she's just this cute little girl figure. But like, yes. You also in the back of your head are like, she's not right. She's just not right.
Again, it's more nuanced, I think, than that, because like she is the monarch of her people, and so she feels that she has this responsibility for her people. And so when it comes to anybody else, and this has been a thing since time immemorial, right? When there's a war that usually occurs, it's because the aggressors or whatever, feel like they want to make the life better for their people, and they are willing to go to war and with other people so that they can take their stuff and make life better for their people. So it's like it's the same thing here, right? So I guess I can see it. Like Sphene is like, oh, my priority is my subjects. It sucks for the sources people that die or whatever, but that's just how war is. Sorry. So I don't know. I guess I can kind of see some sympathy, but whatever. We're also the Warrior of Light, so we have to save literally everybody. So of course we're going to help Sphene save the people of Solution 9 because they are innocent people. So that's what we do.
Yep. So we hurry back to Solution 9. We start helping the people. Like everyone's being attacked throughout the city. We got to go from place to place, and we get a little solo instance fun here, which I love these pieces of content. I wish they did more of them. But more than that, I wish there was an easier way to replace some of this, Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Like, yeah, I agree. Yeah, you can go back and play chapters, but like you have to play big chunks. You can't just be like, I want to play this solo instance. Like, it's in the game. Why can't it just be something you queue up for? It doesn't have to be rewards, right? You're like, hey.
And when you do like New Game Plus or something, yeah.
Yeah. Like I would love to go back to that multi-faction arena way back in Heavensward. Right?
What was it when you fought with the Ishgardians against like
the other factions?
It was like some skirmish or something, and like the final boss was one-armed Robon who's about to whip your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good fight. That was fun.
That was cool.
I'd love to play that again, but like it's the chore to get to that.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, this solo one, it kind of has kind of a dungeon feel. Like you have this trash, and then you have a pretty cool boss in Otis, and then you have another boss in Gwydrod, which I think was just this wyvern thing.
It was like a wolf or something. It was like some electro wolf. Yeah.
Electro wolf. Okay. See, now I gotta look it up. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this overall for saving Solution 9 in this solo instance? I thought it was awesome.
It was really cool. Yeah, we beat some sense into Otis, right? So like, we're obviously going around and we're saving the Solution 9 people, right? And there's like little parts where we have to stop and like actually check on people, like, hey, are you all right? And like Sphene's also going around checking on people, like trying to calm them down, like, hey, like your queen is here, or your princess, whatever you want to call her. She's the queen. Your queen is here. Like, don't worry, we got this. And then we do get the final boss, Otis. We beat some sense into him. He finally, like, Sphene comes up and she's like, Otis, like, help. And of course, because Otis knows who Sphene is, kind of like, swore an oath to protect her.
Yeah, it triggers that programming. Like, that's priority one, protect the queen, right?
Yes. And so we're fighting this like electro wolf thing, and it's like charging up all this electricity, and we gotta like fight off the electro orbs, and we're doing it pretty good, and then it like summons more, and we're like kind of like falling behind, like, oh, I don't know if we're gonna be able to do all this, and then it like summons a crap load of them. We're like, there's no shot, and then like it like pushes us all back, and then it's about to like unleash this big lightning thing, but then Otis comes in with his shield and protects all of us, and then there's the little bar where his like HP is going down, and we're fighting him, and we got to fight the wolf faster than his HP bar is going down, but the problem is they're linked, so the faster you fight the wolf down, the faster his HP goes down, because it's canonical that we fight he gets down to like 1% as we kill the boss, and then like Otis like goes down in his final his programming kind of goes off, and his last robo breath is like standing there protecting the queen, and it's badass. Maybe make him a statue or something, put him up in
I need an Otis minion. I definitely need an Otis minion. A mount wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. There's been crazier mounts, so
you want to mount Otis. That's cool. Nah, that's cool.
Why not?
If you're into it.
We've got a butterfly that carries us around, for crying out, fairy, whatever her name is.
Yeah, dude, I'd rather mount her than mount Otis. I'm just saying.
Lord. We mount up Rama, for crying out loud.
Yeah, we do. I mean, the dude turned into a horse. What do you expect?
Yeah. Oh my goodness, good times. So yeah, he uses his last robo breath, seizes up, offline for good. Queen is saved, and while many people died, Solution 9 is saved. A little bit of downtime quests here. I think there was like 20 minutes of like reach out and help this individual and help save this person, provide aid. Like those quests are so boring. Like we're hyping up, we're elevating, and then you're like, no, come back down. Like why? Like let us get to the top and enjoy that euphoria, and then now we have months to. Why do you gotta do that in the middle of expansion MSQ?
Yeah, gotta check on the people, and it's the same thing that we did in Tweal. It was attacked and
sure,
going around check. Oh, you guys doing okay? And oh, I'm so shaken. How could this happen?
With the giants.
Yeah.
Oh, good times. After all that aid and sucker being given out, it's time for a strategy meeting with Oblivion, right?
Yes.
So we got to figure out a way to get to the summit, and the only thing that anybody can figure out is, hey, let's take the side entrance / the service elevator, the maintenance route, right?
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it is kind of protected. The rule. He's also kind of like wants us.
Yeah, he wants us. So why is he like come meet me? But no, not that easy. No.
You can't come in the front gate. You have to come in the side gate. Right? You have to climb the 50 flights of stairs, like in Final Fantasy VII. Yeah. You don't go through the front gate of Shinra Building. You had to climb the stairs. Yeah, same thing, right?
Did you do elevator or stairs?
Stairs, 100%. You always do the stairs.
You always do the stairs. All right.
You have to, because you get such good dialogue between Tifa and Cloud
and Barrett.
Anyway,
Barrett huffing and puffing.
Yes.
We're almost there.
In OG and remake, they did that scene.
So good. All right. So this leads us into the last dungeon of this area, Orogenics. We go through, and there's some notable bosses here. Not so much the last boss, but the first one, Herpacaris. This is where we have, it's like a scorpion mechanical boss, and he's got like poison puddles, and he'll smash one or the other, and then splash that whole syrup poison. That was a lot of back and forth. Like I don't know how like a black mage would do that. I mean, they got a lot more movement now, but
they do.
Still, that was kind of a pain in the butt. And then,
and the weird thing about that mechanic, I don't know if there's a way to telegraph where the puddles are going to appear. Obviously, I know he's lifting one hand and he's going to like cover puddles, lift the other. But sometimes those puddles don't always appear in the same space, same places. Sometimes there'll be like one in the middle where there wasn't one before. So it's like you think you're safe there, but you're actually not. So you kind of have to go all the way to the other side. So it's kind of annoying. If you could kind of predict where those puddles are going to be, I think it would make it a little bit easier for black mages and stuff like that. But I think the fight overall is fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's nothing to write home about. But
Deceiver, I think, was a lot cooler because you had the soldiers and you had the barriers that you wanted to get knocked into, and some of them had glitches, and so not to get hit into barriers that were glitched because they weren't real, or stand in the line of the soldiers because their lineaways were not real. So I thought that was a cool little mechanic, and I hope to see more of fake. We kind of see fake stuff, and sometimes when we like Kefka-esque question mark, do the opposite of, but it was a cool take on fake mechanics.
It is cool, yeah, because, well, number one, the way that the game teaches you is also really cool, because right after the first boss, you come up to a wall that is, like, kind of glitching out, and you're like, I think Kaki was like, oh, this is like a hollow wall, through it, so you have to go through it, and then, like, so the game is teaching you, like, hey, if you see this weird glitchy kind of effect, that's not real, it's a hologram. So you get to this second boss, and then you see these, like, all the soldiers will line up in the back and they'll like point their guns, and then you'll see the AoE. The AoE will even appear on the ground. So you have to be like, okay, this one is like glitchy, so I can stand in this AoE and not get hit.
Yeah.
So I kind of like how the game taught you there.
I mean, the boss's name is Deceiver, for crying out loud.
Trying to deceive you, right? It makes sense. It's in the name.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always kind of like that kind of stuff. The kind of reprogramming of your brain to be like, okay, no, I can actually AOE and be safe. You know what I mean? Because like it's the second boss of the 93 dungeon, the mountain war, something large, Warcore something. I can't remember.
Oh yeah,
but that's the one, the bunny one, what freezes the different ones, so they have to stand in the and not in the second one.
Yes.
And like you have to reprogram your brain and to be like, okay, it's actually okay to be here. So I just think that's that kind of stuff that is interesting when they kind of sprinkle that into some bosses. So yeah, I would like to see some more of that shaking up in the future. It'd be a lot of fun.
And then we get last boss Ambrose, who also is a minion of this dungeon. Nothing really special to write home about here. I will say that he is a boss that is also telling you, this is another thing that Dawntrail is trying to do more of, is things that are happening off camera or off arena that will affect you on the arena. Like,
yeah,
in Ambrose's case, he's got cages that have, monsters in them. He's gonna punch these cages out, but you got to look off the arena because it's not happening right there. Yeah, the gate shaking. So you got to pay attention to the stuff that's not just the arena; it's off to the side as well.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree with you. I don't think there's anything. I can't think of any. I mean, the ads are a thing, I guess. So you get to do a little bit of AOE, get to sprinkle some AOE into your rotation.
Yeah,
so I
those
suppose
numbers.
that's. But other than that, it's like there'll be arrows on the ground, and you just have to you have to put yourself on one of the square with the arrow to where he's not cleaving, because he's like cleaving one side of the room. So like
so you're not cleaving, and you're not being pushed into the bad areas of the ground as well, because there's some side arrows so it pushed you straight out. So yeah, you got to position yourself correctly.
Yeah, it's pretty basic boss fight.
I will say and I didn't put this in the notes because I just kind of wanted to get your off the cuff, the mini boss in this dungeon. You know what I'm referring to?
The giant turtle.
The giant turtle that took 5 minutes to kill.
I don't know what the hell they're thinking with that, dude. It's super so you can bring in the pack before, which is 2 Cyclopses. You can bring those 2 Cyclopses or into that room with the giant turtle. But the giant turtle is so obnoxiously shaped. He's so large that it makes it very difficult to do AoEs, because sometimes those AoEs are just not going to hit. Like if you do an AoE centered on the turtle's so large,
you have to
do it on the Cyclops. But you don't want to do it on the Cyclops because they have less HP. You want to do your main hit on the turtle, but it's like counterintuitive. I don't know what the hell they were thinking with that, to be absolutely honest. It just slows the dungeon down completely.
Yeah, and like I said, it had an obnoxious amount of hit points, so it felt like it took 5 minutes to take that one piece of trash down. Like it felt like a mini boss that wasn't difficult. It just was obnoxiously just tedious.
Oh, not to mention that if you're a melee of any sort, it does these gigantic fucking ground AoEs that you have to run out of and then get back in, and they are like super gigantic. So you're just going to lose
outside of melee range. Yeah.
Or you just take the damage because screw it, give the healer something to do, or put your personal or use second wind or something like
give the healer something to do, because like I'm fine with it, because like I'll stand out, that's fine, but like I was just get the thing dead. That's all I cared about. So yeah, that was Orogenics. That leads us to Everkeep and the summit of Everkeep. And this trial is awesome. I love this trial. Is. Normal mode, extreme. The music gets you right in the mood for a big fight, and Zoralja does not disappoint.
No, he is a very interesting trial, I think, for the 99. Yeah, 99. Mm-hmm. The 99 trial. I think he's pretty well done. I think in normal mode, I think the fight might go on a little too long.
Fair.
Especially when you're with trusts, but even when you're with players, like I feel like maybe the first phase goes on just a little too long, because there's like 2 phases. There's where you're fighting him in his normal form, and you get him down, and then he goes into a cutscene, because of course. And in this cutscene, it shows that he is willing to metaphorically strike down his father, his brother and sister, foster brother and sister, and even his own son in this bid for power. And so, like, yeah, he strikes down the phantoms of all of his, loved ones, and then he takes in all these souls into him, and he becomes a blessed twin or whatever, a blessed sibling, but just one of the heads is all jacked up and like non-existent because he's only one guy. Yeah. But I guess that's because he's felt so inferior. I think this is like what he always wanted to be. He always wanted to have respect and power of a blessed sibling, but and now that he has all these souls, he's willing to manifest that into himself. But we obviously got to put him down, so that's what we do. But I think the fight's fun.
We get kind of a multi-platform AoEs coming at us, but they're not. You always have to pay attention to like what corridors are coming down. Are those corridors altered in any way? We also have kind of a different take on like line AoEs. Maybe this is just extreme, where you got to look at every little nook and cranny, because every nook and cranny of that crag is a tell of a line AoE. So a lot of interesting things. And then in extreme in particular, I thought what developed into a conga line for Party Finder in stacking mechanics, I thought that was really freaking cool. If we had really done it the way I think they intended, which is like the groups parties stick together, I think that would have been, just a little bit more interesting. And that's actually how I got it down the first time. But the way that the conga line, it works. So if it works and it's easier, why not do it?
Yeah, it does work. I would be interested to see how the developers wanted you to do that mechanic. I think it's super. This is the only for the extreme, but I do kind of like it. I kind of like a mechanic where you can choose how to resolve it. You know what I mean? Like, you can choose the order of how to resolve it, because everybody gets the stack marker. That line is going to come and hit everybody at some point. So it's like, okay, how do we work out who's taking the stack markers when? You know what I mean? I just think that's a really cool mechanic. I think their design space there is interesting. So I'd like to see more of that in some future extremes, or even Savage. Maybe Ultimate, who knows?
Yeah. And that's the end. Taking him down, finishes them off. I'm a little vague here at this point with what happens next. Like, I know that we see this chalice key here at this point, right?
Yeah, we see the chalice. Yeah.
Did we actually get a hold of it, or is it sucked up into the vortex above Everkeep?
I think it's sucked up into the vortex. I'm pretty sure it goes, because at this point there is some dimensional shifting that's happening. Like, I think at this point,
it's like only half of Everkeep is actually truly manifested in. Like, the other half is still in its original spot, right?
Yes. This is where it gets vague for me too, because I'm guessing Living Memory, which is still on the 9th. I'm pretty sure it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's in the other 9th world. Yeah,
and we go through the gate in Skydeep Cenote to get to the 9th. And the reason I know it's the 9th is because it's on its own tab under the teleports. It's not under the Tulial tab. It is specifically under the tab where like all the teleports are for like the other areas of the game, like the moon and stuff like that. Yeah. So like that's how I'm like, okay, it's
okay.
It doesn't say the 9th, but it specifically, Living Memory is in a different area from every other zone in Dawntrail. Yeah. So.
All right. And that's where we're going to leave off today. Good hour and a half show. So that's a big chunk of story happened in Heritage Found in Solution 9. So we're going to process that. And then when we come back next week, it's the wrap up as we go into the last zone, Living Memory, and all the shenanigans that happens there. Honestly, it's kind of a short spell there.
It is. It's pretty, you go there once and you do everything there, and then you wrap it all up there, and that's pretty much the end of the expansion.
Yep.
There's no leaving it, then coming back, then leaving it, then coming back. No, it's just, you just go in there and you do what you got to do. So.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that is, again, it for today. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe for future content. Until next time, though, Piers, where can people find you?
It's the same old thing, man, that I've always said. I mean, you can see on the channel, I used it like that all lately, but it is radio_Piers. You can pretty much find me on radio_Piers, even on YouTube if you really wanted to look for me there. I have some examples for mechanics for ultimates on there, and maybe some like weird random glitch videos that I found, but like I'm not making YouTube content. But hey, look, if you really wanted to go and check it out, check it out. But of course, you can also find me on Final Fantasy 14 as Piers Harvey. And I'm on the Leviathan server on the Primal Data Center. So come say hi, come hang out. I haven't been on a lot lately, mostly like Silent Hill 2 and Metaphor. I'm actually probably not capped at all on my tome, so I'm probably gonna have to work on that today and tomorrow. But so yeah, if I'm working on that and you guys are around, come say hi, and maybe we can do some dailies or something so I can cap my tomes. That'll be great. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all my social media presence. But where can people find you, my good friend?
Oh, you can find Tark on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all at Tarkoth Gaming, playing Final Fantasy 14 most days of the week when I'm not having, mental health issues. That's not something to laugh at. But yeah, also playing Dark Souls. I want to say I'm over halfway done, trying to kill a demon fire sage there. And then on Ready Check Raideo Saturday nights, you can find me there. And we're currently playing some Jedi Survivor and having a good time with that. Just killed a Rancor. That was a good time.
Sick.
Yeah. Actually, it was actually a big pain in the ass.
Which one was it? Where was it? Was it underneath?
Koba?
I can't remember.
In the cavern system? Single
Yes,
Rancor?
in the cavern. Yep. Yeah, I know exactly where you're talking about. Yep.
Okay. Anyways.
Yeah, it was annoying.
Hey, at least there was a meditation spot right next to it. So
true.
But yeah, that's it for us. Until next time, y'all take care of yourselves. Stay safe. End of line. Peace, friends.
Goodbye.